And tonight I'm going to come back with a Saturday night's main event memories episode. And maybe even not even a live one. Maybe we'll do more of an involved episode with some, um, clips and photos and things like that. But first, I wanted to come on here and talk to the masses about anxiety. Um, I am not immune to anxiety by any means, and I have no problem admitting that. I have a long history of my own anxiety and a history of depression. But I've also been a mental health professional for 20 years and really escalating my business, my practice, to the point where I am self employed fully and partnering up with all kinds of insurance companies locally and doing some good stuff. Um, I speak at different engagements on various topics. So I've been doing this a long time. Most of us struggle with some level of anxiety, a baseline of anxiety. Some of it is just general worry about things that haven't happened yet, or things that could happen, or worst case scenarios. Some of our anxiety is a more physical based anxiety. It's a feeling, right? It's an actual physical uncomfortable feeling that we can feel in our chests, that we can feel in our throats, that we can feel all throughout our body. Um, and unfortunately, with anxiety, sometimes for some of us, once it sets in, it doesn't let up. It's almost like a door is kicked open inside of us, and a flood of chemicals, a rush of chemicals flows throughout our body and just creates this very uneasy feeling. I always used to describe it as like an over caffeinated feeling, or actually being plugged into an electrical outlet and feeling those anxious surges of energy throughout our bodies. Very common, extremely, extremely common. Right now, our world, and I mean that literally, our world, right? The globe, and more on a micro level, our worlds, you and me, our own personal individualized worlds have changed and are changing constantly, almost hour by hour, certainly day by day. And there is an extreme amount of uncertainty right now. And uncertainty gives us the feeling of being out of control. And being out of control contributes to anxiety. And so many of us, if not most of us, even the crap talkers out there on Facebook, the ones who say this is nothing and we're all overreacting, trust me, those guys are anxious too. They've just come up with a different strategy for coping with their anxiety. And I feel for them too, because they're just as anxious as we are. Sometimes you have to tell yourself that this is no big deal in order to cope and get through the day. But uncertainty and a lack of control is absolutely increasing our anxiety. And however you feel it, whether it's physical, whether it's that over caffeinated feeling that I talked about, whether it's that just dread feeling that something horrible is coming. Maybe some of you are even thinking, hey, this is it. This is the end of the world. I wouldn't call you crazy by any means. I don't believe that, but I'm just as anxious. I'm just as scared. So, however you are dealing with things, I give you a little bit of insight and a little bit of a suggestion. Anxiety fuels itself on our inactivity and our consistent negative thoughts. Anxiety is a vicious cycle, a hamster wheel. Anxiety leads to thoughts, thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to actions, actions bring us back to anxiety. Again, it's like a hamster wheel. Not that what's going on in the world right now doesn't deserve to cause our anxiety. It does. But we are also contributing to our anxiety by staying focused on the things that are causing our anxiety. And we disguise it as our need to be educated, our need to be informed. We don't need to be as informed as some of us are making ourselves. We don't need to sit in front of the television and watch the news all day. We don't have to look for updates on our phones. We don't have to watch the ticker go up. 20,000 cases, 20,001, 20,002, 500 deaths, 501 deaths. We don't need to do that. That is causing nothing but anxiety. So, what I'm asking all of you to do is to distract yourselves the best you can with something positive. That's one of the reasons why I'm coming on here every single day making a video for you guys. We have got to get our minds off of this stuff. I said yesterday during the G.I. Joe Hall that we are all going through this, period. This isn't going to end anytime soon. But there is a finish line. Most of us don't know what it is yet. There is a finish line, and we're all going to get there. How you and I choose to get there is what's going to keep us healthy. Do we choose to get there? Do we choose to go through this riddled with anxiety, riddled with depression, riddled with fear and negativity and a miserable attitude, snapping at everybody, losing our appetites, our health declines? Or do we want to go through this with as much positivity that we could possibly manufacture within ourselves? And by manufacture, I mean make. In these times, we have to create our own positivity. We have to make our own positivity. Okay? We have to go above and beyond to make our own positivity. Yesterday, I took my family out hiking, right? We weren't around anybody. We were social distancing, but we went out hiking. We walked through the woods. We found a cornfield and just started walking across the cornfield. We got our boots stuck in the mud. And we came home and we had some hot dogs and we watched Lego Masters. Then I came down here and made a video for all you guys about a G.I. Joe package. I made my own distractions yesterday. I made my own positivity. Had I sat home and watched CNN and read my phone from morning until night, I would not have had the same joy or the same positivity or the same distractions that I had. But the day would have come and gone anyways. The virus would have stayed anyways. But I chose to do something else instead of sit around and let this thing bring me down. It exists, and it's going to exist whether we're miserable or whether we're positive and distracted. I'm not telling you all to ignore what's going on out there and put your head in the sand and live in some fairy tale land. Trust me, there's going to be moments when we are all worried, when we're all down, when we are all upset. That's fine. Lay around if you want to for a few hours and then get up and force yourself to do something else so that you can inject a little positivity into a unusually negative situation. This is an abnormally negative situation. So you and I have to work extra hard at pumping positivity. And I'm going to come back and do it again tonight because we're going to talk about Saturday night's main event, which is the greatest night of the week in a child's life. And we're going to do that tonight. I will see you all later. Take care.